You're on this come up DVD. Wayne sees you on it because he's on it as well.
Right.
And so he sees. So how does he even get in touch with you?
He had his home. He had a dude called EI who knew Fendi, and EI hit Fendi like, "Yo, Wayne been talking about this girl all day. He want to meet her. He want her to be down with this crew. He just put together this new cruise called Young Money. Nobody had heard of Young Money. We didn't know what the hell a Young Money was." And Fendi called me and put me on three-way with Wayne one day, and that was what it was the scariest thing in the world. I was so scared because all day I was cleaning up my room, I was doing a bunch of stuff around the house with my mother, and I had stopped listening to the come up DVD, and once it ends, there's a song that will just keep playing over and over, like the menu. So the song on the menu would just keep playing, and it was a Wayne song. So I always said like I conjured him up because after a couple hours of that playing nonstop, Fendi called me and Wayne was on the line.
That had to be. Is that your turning point? Well, what is that? What is that for you? What is the Wayne call for Nicki? What is it for you? Like, what does it symbolize?
It symbolized that just maybe, all the things that I was hoping and praying for my whole life could happen. I didn't know that it would at that moment just yet, but I just knew that this is where I wanted to be because I loved him. And I was like, first of all, it felt surreal, but I just was like, where else would be, like, where could be more perfect for me to be? You know, like, to me, he was like that new young energy. Even though he had been in the industry for so long, he had this energy that I loved, and I felt like I could match it.
He stepped his bar game up from when he was. You saw the growth in him over time. He definitely. So now that call is what, like. So you don't meet Deborah yet. So now you start doing the freestyles, I guess, with Gucci. That's moving along. You know Wayne at the time. He's putting together Young Money. Does he have like? I remember J Mills. This is J Mills. This is Drake. This is
He didn't have Drake yet. He didn't have Drake yet. I don't think when he first called me, he didn't have Drake yet. He knew of Drake. So then, what was the other guy? Tiger came afterwards as well. I think
Tiger came afterwards
after that call.
Mac Maine was part of it, right?
Mac is still a part of it. Mac is still the president. Yeah.
So now this is going on for you. You're not. The Young Money's understood, but where's the next turning point after meeting Wayne, after meeting Gucci? What's your next thing that's influential for you that moves you closer to where you want to be?
Well, signing the deal. People don't know this, but once Wayne was rapping and saying, I just signed a chick named Nicki Minaj and all that stuff, and he did songs with me for my mixtapes, but I didn't get a check. I didn't sign on a dotted line, so I never knew if this was real or not. I never knew if he could wake up one day and be like, nah, I changed my mind, you know? Yes. Yeah. And in fact, one day he did kick me out of Young Money for a little period of time because I had to leave from Miami and go to a show that I had booked, and he was like, what? We here working. And I'm like, but I booked a show. I don't want to get sued, you know? But
and it's the time too. You're trying to build your bread up. You're trying to get your shit popping and stable.
I never relied on Lil Wayne. I always wanted to bring something to the table. I always wanted to have like my own buzz, and that's why I started building like the whole Twitter, social media thing on my own. You know, engaging with my fans, so that I knew he would eventually hear like, yo, this chick got a buzz of her own. And then, sure enough, when there started being a little bidding war for me, you know.
I remember that. And
then you know, and Deborah wanted me to sign with a particular with someone else, and Wayne was like, "Yo, what you mean? Like, you even thinking about not signing with Young Money? Are you crazy?" And I was just like, "Oh, I thought you wanted just to A&R the project." He was like, "Well, I don't want to A&R no more. I got a label, right?" So he switched it up with me and Drake, and he then decided, like, no, I don't want to A&R y'all projects. Y'all got to sign a Young Money. And neither of us were going to say no out of loyalty because he had allowed us to come on the road with him without no contract signed or nothing. Mm-hmm. We were standing and, you know, performing in front of 20,000 people a night because of him. So there was no way I was going to say no. It wasn't about the money to me. It was just about the loyalty. And so that happened, and then I started working towards that first album. And so that was the big thing. So I got a little advance. I made sure, you know, one thing, I had a great lawyer from the beginning. I had the lawyer that I have now is the lawyer who I signed my deal with. And one thing I made sure I didn't do was sign a 360 deal. You know, that was the one thing my lawyer put me onto that a long time ago. And thank you, Jesus, that I never had to sign a 360. So therefore, I was able to start,
And they weren't super. I think at that time people weren't super forcing it on artists like they are now. I think there's more pressure now to do those
Is it more
three.
pressure now?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So much game here. So much game here. So much business game here. And I know y'all clicked on it because, how did Nicki become famous? But it's so much business game. Listen, if you anybody that's trying to do anything in entrepreneurship, business, the music business, you got to watch this whole video. And I'm going to give you 3 points that you really should focus on. Because it's a lot of game that Nicki gave here. And it's the reason she's had the success that she's had. And she's one of the greatest of all time. Y'all can argue in the comments all you want. Facts is facts. So stay here for the entire video. Make sure you click like. It helps the algorithm. Make sure you share. It helps the algorithm. Make sure you comment. It helps the algorithm. Make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. Click them links in the bio and in the boxes. Y'all can do all that. It's free. Let's go.
My ducks, my swans, welcome to the pod.
My name is Dorian from Group82University.com, and right here we got Nicki talking about how she got her deal, how she became famous. I'm going to take you through everything I said I was throughout this video, and I'm going to do it in 3 points. The first point I want you to pay attention to is that she did not let her fanhood consume her. What does that mean? Nicki knew who Wayne was. Everybody knew who Wayne was. Even though her and Wayne are the exact same age, she has been a fan of his for a long time, like all of us who are 80s babies, 90s kids have been. Lil Wayne was the wobbly dude on Cash Money early on. Everybody at Cash Money left. He put Cash Money on his back and he carried them with the Carter and the Carter 2 and all the mixtapes and all the features. And then Carter 3 was essentially his magnum opus at that time, which blew him into this international superstar. But he kept that street, underground, young energy, because I think at the time when that came out, he was probably 24, 25, 26. He wasn't that old when the Carter 3 was all over. You couldn't escape it. And this was around a time that Nicki was meeting Wayne when he was the biggest artist in the world. But she didn't let her fanhood consume her. Yes, I respect you. Yes, I look up to you. Yes, I wanted to sign to you. But I can do what I can do too. I don't need you to rap. I don't need you to write. I don't need you to do anything for me except give me the light. Which leads me to the second point, is that she built her brand on her own. You hear what she said about Twitter? You hear what she said about social media? She said she always wanted to bring something to the table. She didn't want to just take from Wayne. She didn't depend on a label to market her. She marketed herself. The two people who I think really took advantage of social media very early on to elevate themselves past all their peers in their peer group at that time was Kevin Hart and Nicki Minaj. Nicki was doing great on Twitter. She would actually talk to her fans. She was the first rapper I seen retweet her fans. She would take your tweets and comment. She would go to her fans' pages. She made sure that she was a human being. And now look at her social media today, because she sent a tweet or replied to somebody's tweet back in 2008, 2009. She made sure she had something to bring to the table, and she didn't just depend on the label to market her. And that's how you gotta be, which is why I got the class, how to market your music on social media. I don't care if you want to get signed or not. You got to know how to market your music. You got to know how to market your business. So if you somebody that really wants to know how to market your music, where you're never dependent on somebody else to feed you, you got to enroll in the class right now. Click the link in the bio. Make sure you sign up and get in that class today. And the last thing I want y'all to take away from this video, which she did and Drake also did too, is loyalty. Loyalty won out. When you look at the Group 82 University logo, the crest, it took me a while to really come up with that. And I'm going to do a post about what each thing means, but I'm going to tell y'all one of them right now. The two hands that are shaking, that represents loyalty. At Group 82 University and Group 82 just in general, we always got to have loyalty. You got to have loyalty to the people who you work with, because when you do your job, it allows them to do their job, which allows Group 82 to elevate. I want my team to always be loyal. That don't mean you're going to stay here forever. That don't mean you're not going to make the best business decision for you and your family. I ain't got nothing against that. But while you're here, you need to be loyal. If I don't think you're loyal, you can't be here. Wayne took Nicki and Drake on the road when their fan base was but it wasn't where Wayne's was. He had them on stage in front of 20,000 people when no one really knew who they were. And he had no contract and no paperwork. And this elevated their brand. So other labels wanted them. But Drake and Nicki made the right decision. We're going to remain loyal to the person that gave us the opportunity. And still to this day, they are still loyal to that man, because Wayne didn't have to do that. A lot of artists don't do that. They don't care about anybody else who's trying to sign to them. They're not about to have you on stage with them without no contract. But Wayne did. He provided for Nicki, he provided for Drake. and they provided for themselves. And now look at where they are today. When you do things right in business, it's going to work out for you. When you put positive energy out, positive energy comes back. This is the reason I don't scam people, because this is just bouncing energy off each other. If you are a scam artist ass nigga, that shit's gonna come back to you 10 times worse at a time where you don't need it at all. That's how business is. You can take any major artist that's done things right and look at where they are. The people that haven't done things right, look at where they are. Which artist do you wanna be? The person that treats people right and does things right and you're able to maintain it? Or the person that treats people like shit and always trying to rip them off and scam them, and then your life can never be what you want to be? If you're a person who does things right and loyalty means a lot to you, you can click the link in the bio and enroll in our How to Market Your Music on Social Media course right now. We got payment plans. It's no excuse. I'm gonna teach you how to get millions of streams on Spotify, how to chart #1 on iTunes, how to hire a team with no money, and how to turn people that don't even know who the hell you are into loyal buying customers. Click the links right now. Mouth the pond. Y'all stay true.
Group82University.com.